Hi everyone, welcome back to the Media Center. It's Mrs. Tasker here. The last time we met, we explored a few databases and you left the Media Center with 3 sources that you are going to use for your US2 paper. Today, we are going to break down how to cite one of those sources and begin taking notes using a tool called NoodleTools. Now you've already signed into NoodleTools using your school account, and now you are on the projects homepage. The first thing we need to do is create a project. So click on the green New Project button that turns white when you mouse over it, and enter your project title. It can be anything that helps you remember what this is, appropriate of course. I'm using US2 conflict paper for my title. And then we choose our citation style and level. Now, our citation style in Somerville High School is MLA 8th edition. And for level, I want you all to choose advanced. It's important to choose advanced because that gives you the most options for different types of sources to cite. NoodleTools holds your hand the entire time you're making a citation, so you don't need to worry about being overwhelmed by citing something in the advanced form. This will actually help you more because it will give you more options of different types of sources. Once you're all done titling and selecting your style and level, click Submit. And you should see your project appear on a dashboard. Now you can click to type in your research question and thesis if you have it. Most of you probably don't have your thesis yet because I know we're still in the note-taking or really just beginning the note-taking phase. So let me just type something quick for the research question. How conflict shapes alliances and changes between nations. Right. However, one thing we will be doing tonight is sharing this project. You will be sharing this project with your US2 teacher. That is how homework checks will be performed, and she will be able to give you feedback and help you along the way, along your note-taking journey. So click on Share with a Project inbox. First, you'll type your teacher's name and then the title that she has made for her project inbox, which is US2 conflict paper. Now, if you see this message, no record match, that means you've typed something wrong. So raise your hand if you see that. We'll come around and check your syntax. You should see the inbox populate in the drop-down menu. And once you see that, just go ahead and click on it. Make sure you've entered your name. And then click Done. I'm going to get an error message when I click Done because I'm not actually sharing this project with her, but you will have clicked the Share Paper box and you'll see it that it's shared with her in that inbox. Does everybody have their project shared? Does someone need help typing the inbox name? Excellent. Now we're going to move on to sources. Now that we've created our project, so click on Sources right on the top center of the menu bar. And then move your mouse over to the upper left of the screen and click the green New Source button. At this time, make sure you have your first source handy, whether it's a printed article or an article that you have pulled up on the library computer. I have mine right here in this tab open. The article that I'm using for my demonstration is called Everybody's Business, the Nullification of Potsdam. And I found this in the database Points of View Reference Center. So let's head back over to NoodleTools to continue our citation. The first thing we need to decide is where we found this source. Was it found on a database, website, print, or in hand like a book, something we viewed or heard live, a file, app, or an ebook, or something else? Everyone should have either database or print in hand. If you have printed your article, that still counts as a database. Print or in hand would only be if you're using a physical book from the library right now. Now, once you select database, a lot of other options come up for the type of source you may have found on a database. I'm going to look at mine. Let's see. It tells us that the document type is an article. Great. But what kind of publication is this from? It says the source is Nation, and I happen to know that that is a magazine. If you cannot tell what type of source you have, then please raise your hand. We'll come around. It may be a court document. It may be a magazine, journal, newspaper, or really any of these other types of sources. Once you figure it out, go ahead and click. So now I'm citing an article from a magazine. The first thing we need to fill in is the name of the database. You can use a drop-down menu to find it, but I'm not going to because there are many, many databases listed here. So I'm just going to start typing. And here, Points of View Reference Center comes up. For now, we are going to skip the URL and DOI boxes. The recent date of access was today, so if you click today, it'll populate that date in there. And now, more specific information about the article. We are going to need the author. Head back over here. This is pretty simple. There's just one author for this article, Keith Hutchison. So let's type in first name, Keith. And notice when I click in one of these boxes, a blue circle with an I in it appears. Click on that circle and it gives you information about how to find the information you need to fill in this box and how to formulate it. So this tells us that we should add the names in the order shown on the source, use suffixes like junior and second, but omit titles like queen, doctor, PhD, and sir. Now, if you still have more questions about your authors, say you have multiple authors and you're not really sure how many you're supposed to list, click on Advanced Help, and it will tell you if there are more than 2 names entered, NoodleTools will automatically use et al. After the first name listed, as suggested by the MLA handbook, but you will still need to type in those names so NoodleTools knows what to do. And there's additional information if you have more questions. These information bubbles are very handy. Now I'm going to type the last name, Hutchison. There was no suffix or middle name, so I don't need any of those. If you have multiple authors, go ahead and click Add Contributor and type in the next name. If for some reason your article or source does not have an author, then you can click this red trash can and it will delete that box for you. Now, article title, let's see, Everybody's Business, the Nullification of Potsdam. I'm going to type it as it appears on the source. Oh, and look, this yellow suggestion box and caution icon pop up because it thinks I made an error. Let me just finish typing. I lose that train of thought. But let's see what the suggestion is. The article "the" should not be capitalized unless it is the first word of a proper noun or title. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and switch that to a lowercase t. And if you want to get that information that the suggestion gave me before you make an error, then go ahead and click on the info bubble and it will tell you exactly what to capitalize. We don't need a translation. Pages. Click back over to my article. This looks like it's one page, just on page 693, but I still need to type that in, page 693 to page 693, so it knows it's just one page. The name of the magazine, I remember, is Nation. Again, use this info bubble to help you figure out which words to capitalize. Now, volume and issue, I remember seeing that here under source. It's volume 162, issue 23. And the publication date, 6/8/1946. So we are using words rather than numbers for the month. 8 and then 1946. Now you may need this advanced section if you have a special issue of a periodical that you're citing. We don't, so I'm going to go ahead and minimize that And now, annotation is where you are going to write in your own words a summary of what the article is about. This annotation is key to help you quickly decide which source to use for note-taking and writing. So let's see, this article was about when they stopped sending resources. So let me just go back. If you can't remember or you haven't read the whole article, then the abstract gives you a summary. So this is about the halt of reparation shipments. You'll want more details than that. I'm just really quickly getting this in there so we can move on to the next part of our lesson. Before you click over to note cards though, make sure at the bottom of the screen you have checked the box, include this source in my final works cited. If you don't have that box checked, then all of the stuff that we just entered is not going to be saved on your works cited. You definitely want it saved. So it's checked, excellent. I'm gonna click save. Now that citation is going to appear on my source list. Oh, good, it says citation saved successfully. It tells us the type of source, and this is what it looks like. Great. Now we're going to move on to note-taking.